Mike Benz joins us now. Mike, I mean, it's horrific that we have to be here in such circumstances. But in a way, for me, and I think for a lot of us, we weren't surprised because we saw the trajectory of the way our country was going. And it was only a matter of time before another act of senseless, hate-filled violence came after one of us. And of course, they went after Charlie.
Yeah.
And Mike, do you think that this is going to turn the temperature up? Or is it going to turn it down? What's your sense?
I don't know. I think it has to be. You can't forget this. That was the most graphic, horrifying video I or anyone I could ever imagine could see in their life. It was in broad daylight. Thousands of people watching, mid-sentence. Shot in the jugular vein. And this was our child prodigy. We would not be here without Charlie. I would not be here without Charlie on so many levels. Charlie was our bridge to the young. Charlie made it okay to believe in this for people whose minds were growing and developing. When I was in college, I was afraid to be friends with anybody who considered themselves conservative. I hid away from the label because there was no institution. There was college Republicans, which sucked and nobody wanted to be a part of. And what he did with Turning Point is he built really the first mega institution, and probably the most important one, the pipeline of people, of networks, of community, of solidarity. And I can't do something like that. I used to joke with people about when people would say, "Oh, Benz, you work so hard," and I would say, "Well, there's someone who works harder than me, actually. How would you like to be Charlie Kirk? He has to do all of this, and then he has to manage teams of thousands of people. He has to bridge divides from all of the different splintered factions of MAGA so that they have one unified vision. He has to be the peacemaker, the diplomat, the communicator, the long-term strategic planner. Every room he walked in, he looked like he would be president one day. You see him next to presidents, he looks like he's going to be president. And all of this responsibility was on the shoulders of a kid. He was 17 years old, 16 years old when he started all this. Started Turning Point at 18 years old? And all of that weight and responsibility. And he never lost. I never saw him lose a debate. I never saw him lose his composure. He had a unique and probably the perfect skill set for something that is very, very rare in somebody under 60, let alone somebody in this movement, which is in many ways motivated by passion and to some extent the kind of chaos of newness and reform. But Charlie was the steady hand. He never lost his cool, even in that moment. It's completely surreal.
Mike, I couldn't agree more. And I'm as shaken up about this as anybody. And I don't even think I slept last night, honestly. And been up with my wife, and she barely slept. And we're just praying, talking. And I know, though, that because I can hear Charlie's voice in my ear, he would say, keep fighting. Keep up the fight. Keep going. finish the mission, complete the task, work harder. He'd actually, he'd be saying, "What do you think? You guys think you get a day off?" No, we don't take days off. No, we don't. I want to show very quickly, since we are covering the breaking news, we do have a new image that's been released by the FBI, and so that's the original image right there. And then let's show the new image that's been released. This clearer image that is zoomed in, the tighter, clearer image. All right, if we don't have it, we don't have it. But those are the images that were released earlier. We're trying to get a sense of this right now. Okay, here's the new image that's been released. Mike, as you look at the situation, what do you make of the fact that the shooter is still at large?
Puzzled. I know that this is the most wanted person on earth. I have faith in Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, Pam Bondi to make sure this killer is brought to justice. And I want the slowest, most painful, most gruesome, most public execution of this man possible. I want a video.
We certainly have to look. I'm emotionally. I know exactly where you're coming from, and obviously, cross our T's, dot our I's. But look, I get it. Something has to give. A line was crossed yesterday that we can't go back from.